So tonight I have a very, very interesting person. He has indeed been in this business for a long time, and he's highly qualified, and he's also well trained as a graduate certified in a counseling background as well. I think many of us, all right, when we are caught in a situation, particularly in a death, we always come in shock, all right. Don't talk about old folks or someone that has been sick for a long time, but there are sudden death as well in the society, and many of time we are caught unprepared. And when the preparations that we need to make, all right, particularly in a funeral, particularly, right, we do not know how. I thought it would be a good preparations for all of us, all right, to know, because in our Asian context, many a times we are very superstitious about it. We don't even dare to talk about it. We don't even want to talk about it. So Moses, would you like to introduce yourself and share with the audience what exactly do you do, and how do you come about to this business itself?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. Hi Cass. Thank
Yes.
you for inviting me in this this session. Okay. First thing first is that my name is Moses Tehs. I'm a funeral director or funeral consultant. Right. So one thing I want to let everybody know, my phone is standby on call for 24/7.
Wow, 24/7.
24/7.
Okay.
Right. So it has been in me for the last many years that I'm in this trade. So I'm used to my phone ring in the middle of the night, or while I'm in the toilet also the phone can ring. So I have to attend to it, and then next thing is I have to reach out to meet the family member of the deceased, whether it's at home or hospital or anywhere. So it is really part of my life. Yeah. So again, I'm in this industry for I think easily 6-7 years already.
Okay.
And before I joined this line, I was actually a counselor. So I came into this line I really learned everything from scratch.
Okay.
From the very bottom operation and things like that, and all the way to what I need to know as a funeral director.
So, which means like, yes, like I say, death is something that in our Asian context, right, we are very superstitious. I think most of them don't make preparation. That includes myself, right? A lot of time, I think we don't make preparation. So what do you think? The audience here asks you a question. What is life after death?
Now, I will look at it on two different manners. Number one, what life you're talking about? Is the deceased life or the family member or the relative of the deceased life? Okay, so let's separate. Now, addressed to the deceased life. Let's say a person passed away. Of course, nobody know. On my stand is nobody know where he go. Of course, some believer believe that they will go to heaven. Some will say they go to a better place. Right? So really, where does he go? I don't know. Right? But I'm more interested to share with you how about the life of the deceased family. Right? Because you see, when our loved one pass on, right? If it's a sudden death or unprepared, so it's very difficult for the family member to have a closure. You know, for instance, like couples, old couples, elderly couple, they've been together. Probably they are in the age of 70, 80 or even 90.
Yes.
They've been together with each other, you know, for the last 40 years, 50 years.
Yes.
Every morning when I wake up, you know, the husband wake up or the wife wake up, they will make a coffee for the, let's say the wife will make a coffee for the husband.
Yes.
Or prepare a 2 piece of toast bread for the husband. So when the husband passed away, now, the next morning, after the wake and everything, the wife will still probably make 2 cups of coffee, one for her and one for the husband. So you see, that is still a lot of closure. There's still a lot of emotion issue that need to address to. And also another thing is that sometimes when a person passed already, you know what happened to the family business, the asset that he hold. You know, when there's without any preparation, there will be a chaotic because no one can touch your cash. No one can touch your property. No one can touch your share unless you have certain view written down, allocated to someone or not. If it's without all these things, it will be a mad situation for the family member to handle things like that. Right.
What do you think, Moses? Tell my guests, to date, to now, all right, over your number of years of experience, how many dead bodies have you handled?
Okay. I think for a rough figure, for the past 6-7 years that I've been in this industry, at least I think not less than 500 cases. 500 cases that have been handled.
I want to address a question asked by Kevin. Kevin asked, do you still do embalming post-COVID.
Now, during this pandemic period of the COVID, because it's very, very sensitive, and then this disease is really like no man's land. People do not know what's going to happen.
Yes.
So for us as a funeral directors, we have a set of protocol coming in, especially for this kind of situation. So just to let everybody know, if a person contacted COVID-19 disease, definitely the hospital will definitely quarantine the whole thing, and then they will handle it with special care. Right.
Okay.
So for that basis, the embalmer are not allowed to touch the body. This is considered a very sensitive, and because it's disease based, so it's very sensitive case. So all our staff have to be full PPE. PPE means there's a special dress.
Yes.
With glove, with mask.
I see.
Whole thing.
The attire. Yes.
The whole attire, which is approved by the hospital. So all of us have to be full PPE to go to the hospital.
Yes.
And remember, I said just now, we had to bring one casket to the hospital. All right.
Okay.
So in the hospital, usually at the mortuary, the hospital staff will help us, to wrap up the body, to do disinfection and things like that. Then we place the body straight away from the hospital bed at the mortuary into the casket. And then of course the family member is there. Maybe the close one is there.
Yes.
But they don't allow too many people. Right?
Okay.
So then immediately we have to seal up the casket. Mean to say we have to cover, we have to nail it, we have to seal it. Alright?
Okay.
And then we have to do the disinfection before we can leave hospital.
One day, how many people die in Singapore?
Okay, I give you an official statistic, right? In a year for the past 4 years, 2016, 17, 18, and 19, alright? For the past 4 year record, death toll per year is between 21,000 to 22,000. About 21,000 to 22,000, you work backward. A month is around about 1,008 to 2,000, right? So we work backward per day. You're talking about 50 to 70.
Okay.
That is the total amount of people die.
Okay.
It can be inclusive for people that have cancer, people that have old age, people that have accident, people that have suicidal, any kind.
Yeah. Besides hospital, where else do people die?
Okay, when you talk about natural death, right? Natural death basically it took place hospital. There's one. Okay, at home.
Yeah.
Okay, some old folks home. Some old folks they're at home and then they fell down. They died. It could be. Alright. So at home, at their own home, and also at the hospice or at the old folks home.
Yeah.
Okay, those are those common places.
Okay.
So I say hospital,
Yes.
their own home,
Yes.
and also the hospice or the old folks home.
Yes.
Those are natural death.
That's right.
Alright. How about unnatural death?
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yes.
Accident can happen everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. It can be outside. It can be a car accident. Alright. It can be a motorcycle accident.
Yes.
It can be someone fall down from a high place.
Yes.
Okay. So death can happen anywhere,
Yeah.
anytime.
Okay. Yeah. How does the coffin works on their height and length?
And the measurement of it, I think the length in
Yeah.
Singapore setting, I think
Yes.
it's about 6 to 7 feet.
Okay.
6 to 7 feet for the length. So the width is about probably 2.5 to 3.
All right.
Because one of the criteria is that in Singapore setting now a lot of death cases, they go for cremation.
Yes.
Not like olden time, they go for burial. But now I think into the statistics, like say, probably about 95% of the death cases they went for cremation. Or only balance like 2 to 3 or 5% is go for burial. Now, when you do for cremation, you see the cremator had a standard size.
Yeah.
So it can't be putting a casket which is a 10 foot long
Yeah.
or 8 foot long. It might
Yes.
not be able to fit in.
Okay.
So that because of that restriction, the length usually limited to not more than 7 feet.
Yeah.
Alright, the width
Yeah.
is not more than 3 feet.
Yeah.
Something like that.
What do you think, Moses? When you choose a casket, all right, or a coffin in that sense,
Yes.
I know that for Chinese we also have our own belief,
Yeah.
and then there are certain symbols to it and so forth. What do you think? Are all these really that important?
Different color does mean different thing.
Yes.
And the different thing can be let's say same color, like white color. To certain people it means certain thing. To different group of people they also mean another thing.
Yes.
So really it's very subjective, right? Remember I said it's very subjective, no right or wrong.
Yes.
Okay. Now for casket, usually they classify into not many color. I think probably 3 color. I would say 3 category.
Yes.
So number 1 is white. White casket.
Okay.
Okay, I think it's pretty common now. White casket. After I'm not talking about the shape now. I talk about color.
Yes.
So number 1 is white color.
That's right.
The other category is basically dark brown color.
Okay.
Darker brown color. That means to say one is white, one is darker brown. Okay. We don't have black. Okay. I mean it's tailor-made, yes, but generally we don't have black. We have
white.
a dark brown color.
Okay.
Okay. Then another category is in between. Means to say light brown. So some may be towards a bit orangey and yellow, like a brown. Let's say for Catholic and Christian, usually I would say they prefer white.
Yeah.
They prefer white. Okay, white casket. Now, other than that, for Chinese normally, right? If the disease is elderly, okay, let's say 70 plus, 80 plus, 90 plus.
Yes.
So usually the family member will choose a darker color. So likewise, if the disease is a younger person, so normally they would like to choose a lighter color. Another category is, let's say the disease is single, bachelor, never married.
Yes.
Okay. Usually they will choose white color. Usually they will choose lighter color.
Okay.
Right. Again, I say it's a personal preference. No right or wrong. And that's how we go.
Okay. So you see, so there are many colors to the casket. All right, so it's individual preferences in terms on their belief or even to their preference to make that choice. Yeah, the audience here asks you, can the casket be closed and not open?
There's 2 ways. Either is we place the body into a casket at our embalming place, or another method, sometimes due to ritual purposes, we have to bring the body and the casket separately to the place of wake. At the place of wake, we will perform certain religious ritual, then to place the body into the casket.
Okay.
Right? So eventually the body has to put into the casket.
That's right.
Now, when the body into the casket, then of course after the procedure or the ritual, everything, we have to close the casket. Because if the wake is holding for 3 days or 5 days, we want to close the casket.
Yeah.
Number 1, to prevent insects and things like that to drop into the casket. We do not want that, right?
Okay.
So we will usually close the casket.
Yeah.
Now, also depends on certain ritual and practices. Once the casket is closed, especially in Chinese, once the casket is closed, you're not allowed to open again.
Okay.
Right? But some religions, they don't mind. Okay, so when come to the funeral day, when we bring the casket from the wake to the cremation hall in Mandai, right? So there are some time allowed to give us, right? So some religious, they allow the casket to be open again for the family member to have a final farewell. You see? So to answer your question, whether the casket is open or not, usually we have to close because we do not want some other substance or insects or dirt or things like that to drop inside. It's just for hygiene purposes.
Okay.
Now, on something extra note is that if the death occur is unnatural death. Okay, unnatural death, sometimes the body the presentation of the dead body might not be so present. So we as a funeral directors or consultant, we will advise family member, we do not want to present the body for the next few days for the guests or whoever come and view. Because it might be pretty overwhelming.
Okay.
Right? Because we want to keep a good image, a remembrance of the deceased to the people. So then we will do extra steps. Means to say we will close the casket and then we seal. That means to say whoever come after that, they won't be able to view the body.
Okay.
But if it's normally is that when we close the casket, right, we still have a little opening, like a window.
Audience asks, do you think the dead can hear us in word or in prayer when we talk to them?
So due to the different belief, they may have different ritual or different practices. So sometimes family member may ask me, should I do this? Should I do that? I will always come back to them and say, what is your belief? And what are the things that you think After you do it, you feel comforted. The remaining family who is still alive is also important.
Yes.
Because the emotion area.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes people feel that, oh, I want to do more things because he raised me up, you know, that kind of thing. He had blessed me with so many things. I want to pay him back, that sort of thing.
Yes.
So I want to do a lot of things, but there's also good things because it's a way of respecting the deceased.
Yes.
But very importantly, I want to also focus on the person or the family member who is still live behind.
Someone here also asked you, Moses, do you do funeral for people without a family members?
Yes. Actually, to my surprise, in Singapore, a lot of I would say elderly folks, they really alone. That means they live alone.
I see.
Okay, they don't have immediate family member. Whatever reason, maybe they are bachelor all along, and then they don't have anyone else with them. So they are pretty often. I would say almost every month we have cases happen. There are cases often that hospital have a death cases, but no one come forward and claim. No one come forward and claim.
Wow.
So what they have to do is that they have to keep the body in the hospital, as I said, in the cold room, in the freezer.
Okay.
Then at the same time, they have to activate the police investigating officer, try to call whoever contact they can get.
All right.
It can start from the neighborhood. It can start with whoever in the coffee shop, you know, this uncle or whatever kind of thing. They will try to call and they check the ICA record and things like that. They try to reach out to anyone.
Okay.
So some, fortunately, they can still reach out someone.
Yes.
You know, maybe a week later or 3 weeks later or a month later. Then they can call for the person and come and claim the body. But some really do not have.
Yes.
It can be after 2 months. There's still no one come forward. They
Wow.
couldn't reach anyone.
Okay.
So it has to really. The hospital also don't know what to do.
Okay.
You see, so that is a very challenging situation. So usually, what what happened in the industry, that the hospital will probably call one or two of the undertaker, which is us. You
Yeah.
know, it can be other people, it can be other company. I'm saying us means representing the whole industry.
Okay.
They will call a respective undertaker, asking them, hey, I have a unclaimed body here. Would you be kind enough to come and claim the body and then do whatever is necessary?
Okay.
Of course, that also involves documentation.
Yeah.
So we have to involve NEA, we have to involve the ICA.
Wow.
So a little bit of complication. Because we have cases whereby once we receive the body and then we do necessary, we do the cremation and then we do the sea burial and things like that. Sometimes later, 1 month later, 6 months later, someone come forward and claim.
Wow. Okay.
Wow, and then how?
Yeah.
So that was a challenging situation. Of course,
see.
the authority also look into this area, and there are certain steps has been worked out to help to solve or try to address to this area.
Okay.
So to answer your question, yes, they are. They are unclaimed body. Right.
Okay. So so it's so interesting, right, to really know that Singapore being such an advanced country, and we always think that every of our citizenship, all right, has a family, has a loved one behind. So what are some misconceptions people have about your industry?
A lot.
Yes, I think it's a lot, right? I mean, particularly in the Asian context as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you think?
Misconception. Okay, I still remember in early part of my my work as a profession in this industry, or rather an early part of the time whereby I just joined this industry. You know, my friend asked me, "Hey Moses, why are you going to join this industry? Why are you going to do death? You know, deal with deaf people? Are you not scared?"
Yes.
So it is until today. It's also, you see, sometimes when some of my friends, they felt that uneasy to talk to me. Even when I call them, invite them for coffee or tea, they say, hey, I got nobody that die, you know, don't call me. So there are still such kind of misconception and taboo.
Yes.
They don't want to talk to us. So they are. I would say they are still have, you know, but then I think this is something that really, to me, death is something definitely happened. If you ask me, why don't I relate this to you? If you buy lottery, you buy Toto, no one can guarantee you will strike.
Yes.
But if you ask me, would I die? I say, definitely you will die.
Yeah.
It's just that when. You see? So things are definite. Death is a definite thing.
Yeah.
You see? Whether or not you prepare or you are not prepared.
Yeah.
Some happen shorter time. That means sooner. Some maybe later.
Yes.
You see? Yeah. So let's have a better perspective onto this industry. Been my journey in this industry, I have a few cases which is very I cannot forget. I cannot forgive. Forget. It's very remarkable. Imagine in a wake, at the day of funeral. Let me just say, I'm going to transport the casket from the wake to Mandai crematorium. Okay, so in a normal practice, I will have my staff coming in, get ready.
Yes.
Okay, I may have the priest and whoever need to do whatever ritual, they will be there.
Yes.
Okay, I am also getting ready my hearse because the hearse is a special vehicle only to transport the casket, right?
I see.
We call it polechia. In Hokkien we call it polechia.
Yeah.
So I have a hearse ready. Do you know, before I could send off the casket, I have to call ambulance. I have to call police. Why? Because there are certain dispute, there are certain fight between a family member and someone got injured.
Wow.
You see, of course, I do not know why, because it's their family history or whatever. But what I'm saying is that, you see, instead of I preparing my hearse there, I have to prepare ambulance because someone got hurt. I have to get the police coming involved because there are certain things they need to come investigate.
Yeah.
So it's a chaotic situation.
Yes.
You see, so it boils down to sometimes their unresolved matter, which is the disease left behind.
Yes.
Who is going to settle that? Who is going to sort it out? Do not know. So I personally find, if this is the setting, will be a very, very good preparation. Things like you can decide to who are the guests that you want to invite to come over to the wake.
Yeah.
What are the things that you want to do? You see, what are the different setup? Or even you can even prepare some of the things that you want to tell your guests. You see, when I'm alive, I can say thank you to whoever come to my wedding. I can say thank you, appreciation for whoever come to my function. But when come to my funeral, I have no way or no chance to express my thoughts or my appreciation to all my dear friends, to all my dear guests. How about if I would encourage you write your own eulogy, you write your own speech. So by then you appoint whoever, maybe your son or maybe your daughter, to read it out for you. Don't you think it's more meaningful?
Yeah. One question, Moses. What is your youngest body have you ever encountered in your journey, all right, as a caretaker yourself? The youngest body that you have personally handled? Yes.
Okay. My youngest client, which is that cases that I ever handled, is actually 0 age, which is a fetus. A fetus. Even not even formed yet, but it's a fetus.
Wow.
Due to whatever reason, I had to go and meet the mother or the father in this case, the family member, to take over the body and to arrange whatever necessary. So the youngest is actually a fetus.
Wow.
Not even formed yet. Right. So likewise, my eldest case. My eldest case that I handled before is auntie, which is 103 years old. I learned a lot of things from this auntie, which is 103. The amazing part is that the moment I go to the house and receive the body, because he passed away at home. Okay. So then I think it's the daughter. The daughter hand over to me a box of clothing. In that case, it's actually a longevity robe. In Chinese, we call it so yi. Because he has been, 103. She prepared this longevity robe or so yi 25 to 30 years ago. So when I had that box, which contained the longevity robe, when I open up, to my amaze, those clothing that she prepared, I think it's one whole set, which is 7 pieces and things like that. It was like new, and there was no cockroach. There was no like little hole in there being bitten and things like that. Guess what she put inside? Yeah, what's that? Insecticide. Pepper. I really said, wow, this auntie of 103 taught me this wonderful lesson. Okay. And it was so amazed. It was so amazed. And not only that, there's a letter inside the box. Okay. In the letter itself, she stated clearly, where do I want to hold this wig? Where? Who is the priest that I wanted you to get him in? Wow. How many? And she prepared those ang pao for her grandchildren. No, she prepared everything. to my amaze, this, late old auntie, 103, she really keep those good heritage, knowledge and info into the box. So the moment I received the box, really, I learned so many things, so much thing from her.
Literally, what he's trying to say that this auntie prepared his death, all right, and she prepared her death. She prepared her gown for the dead body for herself. Wrote instructions how to go about doing it based on what she wanted. All right, so literally, like I says, very few, right? Very few people who want to plan their death. I think many people also never prepare their death. All right, because we think death comes only when you're at your old age, but unfortunately, death no longer, all right, comes from the old age. In fact, death actually strikes at the younger age, nowadays the younger age. With COVID around, sometimes you heard a lot of sudden death. For my case, just during 2 months, all right, I've seen a lot of death. All right, some girlfriend of mine died even at night for no reason. All right, and she's fit, she's healthy, she exercises a lot every other day, and yet death comes by. I find interesting is for people around that thoughts itself, all right, is to keep a lookout. So Moses, in your journey as a 6-7 years, all right, have you seen any paranormal activities? I don't know. All right, what do you think? Do you believe in that, or have you seen in that?
Of course, throughout my journey of this funeral directors or all this year, I do came across a few occasions.
Yes.
Okay, but my take is this. I would like to channel the whole situation into addressing to the particular person.
Sure.
Okay, because individually have a different takes.
That's right.
So I would like to understand and channel back to that individual particular person.
Yeah.
So my purpose is, as I say, because I'm a trained counselor, I would like to come from that perspective.
Yes.
Whatever happened, whatever phenomena that happened or take place during the week, right? I would like to use this as a tool, something to address back to comfort the family member, to comfort him or her.
All right.
Now I can remember very clearly this one incident, right? Some years ago. The disease is actually an old lady. So she has one son and one daughter-in-law. It's only such small, simple family.
Sure.
But the thing is that this daughter-in-law has been taking care of this elderly lady, which is the mother-in-law. So she has been really take care of her, or even towards the very last stage of her life, which is she was sick and ill and bedridden. So she passed away. Now, that one thing happened is that during the week, I think it's 3 days weeks, right? So there was actually a butterfly. A very small, colorful butterfly that flew in in the wakes area, and so happened the daughter-in-law noticed. So before that, I kind of preempt her in the sense that I say, if there is there are different phenomena happen, not to be worried, not to be scared. It means that maybe the deceased, which is in this case the mother-in-law, would like to come. Whether you want to say it's a spirit or it's a soul, you just want to come back to comfort you.
Okay.
You see, I coming in from that perspective.
Sure.
So she already kind of, have that kind of understanding. Instead of thinking about, other things. So true enough that very night that during her she spent and she was alone there at the wake. So this little butterfly just really came in, and then it just rested on one of the table, which near to her. So she was not worried and anxious, and when she noticed the butterfly. So subsequently, the butterfly actually fly around her, around her body. So she even purposely rests her hand somewhere on the chair, and the butterfly really follow her hands. So it was really like a movie. Okay. But so the next day when she shared with me, I asked her one question. I said, look, how do you feel when this phenomena took place? When the butterfly was actually flying around you. Guess what she answered me? She said, I felt very comforted. I felt that like my mother, she called, my mother is coming back to let me know that she is fine. So I said, wow, that is wonderful. Whatever phenomena that happened, I like to take it into a positive way, so that because she's the daughter-in-law who really loves the mother-in-law, really take care of her. So she also felt a sense of loss.
Okay.
She also felt a sense of, I didn't do enough.
Yeah.
I might, if I do this, I may maybe preserve. No, it's a lot of thoughts like such.
Yeah.
So with that phenomena, with the butterfly flying in, flying around her, and it's not like touch and go, it's all like stay there for a couple of minutes, that kind of thing. She felt comforted. She felt relief. So I think that is a very, very good journey or testimony that happened.
Yes, so certain belief, all right, in our thoughts, and so that has been the saying most of the time, all right. And like I say, it's very much on the individual belief, all right. And what you see is what you get, and what you believe you will also get as well. Because the power of thoughts to me is very powerful. So let's talk to the topic about suicidal.
Okay.
All right, and I know many of us in such a stressful environment, in one time or another, might have a suicidal thought. All right, you think that the life is not, the world is not being fair to you. Maybe sometimes you've been retrenched by the work due to the COVID. All right, and if you're a business, you felt that your business has been very heavily burdened, by your expenses. All right, by staffing. All right. And sometimes unexpected things happen that you are not in control. Maybe sometimes even in a relationship itself, not your fault, but you felt that, all right, you've been victimized, all right, and all these negative thoughts came to you, and you felt that the world is so dark, and you just want to end your life by, probably jumping down, committing suicide. You think this is the last resort for you because it is too much for you to take. All right, I personally empathize with you. I think I've walked that journey as well. But hey, perhaps think it through again. Is that the thoughts? Is that you want to even entertain? All right, this kind of thoughts, which many times these thoughts is not in you. It's in you, but no one knows. Right? Not even your loved ones will think that you will ever have these thoughts. Many a times we are strong on the outside, but we are very weak in the inside, and no one knows. Yeah. All right. Many a times when you are in these thoughts, you are alone and lonely. All right. And many a times when you are in these thoughts, you are in your darkest moment. So we discussed this before, and I want Moses to share with you, because as a caretaker, he has seen bodies in that for people who took the courage. All right, to think that is a courage to commit suicide. It is a bold courage, right?
Very bold.
Yeah, but they might not know the consequences, particularly people who are still around, all right? Actually, the one that suffers are the one that left behind them. So what do you think, Moses? Share with the audience, all right, bodies that we have seen who have committed suicide.
Okay, regarding to this commit suicide, the thought of committing suicide, let me say this. Please, never ever entertain that thought. Never entertain that thought, and never do it. Please don't do it. Okay, what I tell you now, I can only come from my perspective as what I observe. What happened after a person commits suicide? What take place? Okay, number one, the reporter in Singapore setting usually do not report. So that means to say the people in a general do not know. Do not know. So you thought they don't have. Yes. Number two, the family member of that person is going to suffer a huge sadness, guilt, and very devastating for them. Okay, one cases that I very impressed. I mean, it has been in me for a longer time. The person who commits suicide is only 14 years old. 14 years old. What happened to the mother when she came to know this during the week? Wow, I can tell you, she is like totally devastating and collapsed. She can't even stand still. It was so painful for her, and she do not know why. Because the teenager, 14 years old, didn't communicate. She thought that someone has a school bully or someone has abused her. But we don't know until today. I see how sad is the mother. So another situation is an adult. he commits suicide, his husband, whatever reason, right? So left behind the wife. The wife is still in the dark. Why did my hubby commit suicide? Never discuss with me what he is going through, what he's facing. So that one is very, very painful. And this impact could impact the wife. In fact, it's impacting the wife for many years. Even until today, sometimes sometimes I do keep in touch with my customer. They are still affected then. Okay, so that is the impact that the suicidal left behind for the family member. Observation number 3. What happened to the deceased body, to the body of the committed suicide case? Now, one thing that you cannot avoid is definitely have to go for post-mortem. Okay, the body has to go for post-mortem. So before that, I have to say, it depends on what mode of suicidal. If it's a jump case, right, now the body is, I would say, distorted, or maybe the leg is the other way around. Okay, a lot of hurts and bruise and things like that is ugly. Number 1. Number 2, when the body is sent to the hospital, because in this case no one can touch the body, only the authority will bring the body back to the hospital, and then the forensic have to go investigate, because it's unnatural death. So a post-mortem you can't avoid. Post-mortem means what? He cut the body, dissect the body, open up, even in the head, open up the skull, take out the whatever organ inside, investigate.
Okay.
So that's going to happen to the person who jumped. Do you want that? So when we came in, we have to bring the body back to embalming. So when embalmer have these cases, suicidal cases, it's actually more time taken for the embalmer, because not only they're doing the normal embalming procedure, he has to also handle the body. When I mean handle, means you have to place back whichever organ, in the proper place, and then you have to sew. Even with that, it takes a longer time. Even with that, the body usually will swell, because after the the dissectment, the impact again when the body bring back to the wake, your own family member look at the body.
Horror.
It's very, very horror. Very horror. So in these cases, usually we as undertaker, we have to advise the family member that we are going to seal the casket, as I mentioned just now. We have to close the casket, so that whoever that come pay respect later on have no chance to see, because we do not want you to leave a bad impression. Very, very challenging, and it's very, very diversificating. So my advice is, do not entertain to such thoughts. Please don't. Please don't.
I know, like I said earlier on, when you are in your darkest moment, everything to you, you feel that it is not on your way. Alright, you can be lonely and alone. Alright, and you felt that maybe in your darkest moment, you could be maybe being retrenched. You have no job and you have a family to take care. You felt that finances is challenging, or if you're running a business and business are not running well, and you felt that everything is against you, and you have these thoughts of suicidal. Please do not do that.
Do not entertain.
Alright, like we say, don't entertain. Find someone to talk to. Call a hotline, or find somebody to at least talk it out first. Alright, talk it out first, I would say. Alright, so he has just shared with you that when you jump down, alright, yes, it is a committed suicide, our local reporters do not report, alright, the case, alright, but the process of you having to do that, it's the one that is leaving behind, that you left behind, will have to go through a lot of stress further. Alright, stress such as their guilt. Alright, they do not know why you're doing it. They don't understand why you would want to do it, why you have the courage. A lot of why will start asking them. Right, not only to the loved ones, your whole family. It is going to be a long journey for them to suffer through. So don't entertain thoughts like this. Alright, so earlier on another person asked, alright, because we talk about jumping down, Moses, and he asked, what about those who hang themselves? would they have to go through the same process as well, right?
Okay, just for general information, all right?
Yes.
Now, when it comes to natural death, means to say die of old age, die of illnesses in the hospital, you know, with the things like, usually whatever it is, when a death occurs, the doctor has to certify the cause of death.
All right.
Okay, so when it comes to natural death, the doctor can easily stated the cause of death, maybe with the medication that the family member can provide, or this person has been on medication and things like that, you know. So when it comes to unnatural death, all right, unnatural death, because no one know what is the cause of death.
Yes.
Especially like you talk about commit suicide, you talk about accident, or even talk about hang themselves. It's considered unnatural death. So when it comes to unnatural death, it has to go through the procedure of find out what's the cause. So the only way to find out, because he can't answer you, he can't answer your question, right? So the only way to find out is to dissect the body, to go through the postmortem. Okay. Right. So for a general information, be aware when it comes to unnatural death, you have to go through the procedure of postmortem and things like that.
So there's a gentleman who asked this question. All right, to forgive is divine. Were there any instances that a family members make a fuss at the wake? I think early on we did cover, right? He has to sort of even contact the police.
To answer that question, yes. In my journey with as an undertaker, they are family member. They have unresolved issue. Even the person has passed away. Yes. So the left behind, maybe it could be the brothers, it could be the sister, it could be the children. Yes. You know, the kind of things. So they actually make a fuss of it. You know, literally they fight. Literally fight. I mean, at least there was 2 occasions on my case I handled before. Right? I bring back the casket, you know, supposed to go back to the wicks area. But I couldn't get it in because they have fights inside. You know, they are disagreement and things like that. They couldn't resolve. I have to wait outside. Okay. This one occasion. Another occasion is that the thing is already there. We have placed the casket and everything is there. But there are still a quarrel and a fight take place. So I have to literally stand in and stop them from doing that. Wow. Right? Of course, I do not know why. I do not know what's the cause of it. But of course, I have to respect the deceased and I respect the family member. This is not the time. This is not the time to bring into that kind of things. We have to just, you know, settle down, relax, and then move on. At least for this couple of days, get things passed on, do the whatever things that need to be done. Let's say like arranging all those necessary things, you know, those cremation or those burial or whatever. The logistic you have to get it done. The administrating work you have to get it done. Right. So they are honestly in Singapore setting they are a fight. A fuse in the weeks.
Well, I guess there's a lot of unresolved matters, right? I mean, sometimes we really do not know what happens.
Correct.
But yes, there are unresolved cases. Sometimes it's out of anger, sometimes it could be miscommunications, but I think it's always good that particularly in a scenario of that, I think we all need to hold our cool despite all our challenges or whatever dispute that we might have. Sometimes it's really out of anger because of unspoken or words that's already spoken out in the family context. Is inevitable. I mean, there are times, all right, particularly when there's more people, there's bound to be more challenges as well. All right, so I think it's to be considerate and actually to respect the death and you know, talk it out in a more civil manner in that basis itself.
Imagine whenever we have a concern that we begin to worry and you know, anxiety. It started from concern first. You concern over certain thing, and then it developed into anxiety. You know, and it developed into worry, anxiety, and then you keep on entertaining the thoughts. That the more you entertain it, the more you got spiral down. So you got stuck in it. So my conversation just now with Cass in the afternoon is that I said, look, let's ask ourselves this question: whatever thing that we are concerned about, we are worried about, we are anxious about, right? Does it actually take place and happen?
Sure.
Say, for example, let's say my kids, my son, or my daughter especially, already 12 o'clock, she haven't come back yet. So you start to think of all this, you know, what if. So those are actually imaginary. So the feedback come back to me is that almost 99% of the concern, of the worry, of the anxious matter that you think about, you entertain about, is actually under imagination. What I'm saying is that not yet happened.
Yeah.
It may, but it's not yet happened, or it's not going to happen. Alright? Now, so out of the 99% is actually imaginary. So the second question I want you to ask is that, since it is imagination,
Yes.
do you want to entertain it?
Yeah.
You see? So it's imaginary.
Yes.
It's not going to happen. So if you can hold your horse by not entertaining anything which is imaginary,
Sure.
do you think that it can actually relieve you
Yeah.
at least 60% of the concern?
Yes.
70% of the worry?
Okay.
You see? So that's my take. You
Yeah.
know, whenever you have, I respect whatever you are concerned about. I respect whatever you are worried about.
Yes.
I respect whatever you are anxious about. I'm just wanting you to ask two questions. One, is my concern, is my worry, is actual or imagined?
Yeah.
Actual means it really take place.
Yes.
Anyway, that was another story of it. So I think most of it is still in the imagination.
Yeah.
Not happened yet.
Yes.
Alright? So if it's still in the imagination, if it's still not happened yet, so I encourage you to ask second question. Am I want to entertain it? You see? So since it's imagination, so you
Yes.
can choose not to entertain it.
Yeah.
So the moment you choose not to entertain it, you are free. You are free.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So one last advice out there as a caretaker. What is your last takeaway in your 6-7 years of journey that you want to speak to the audience with regards to death and wake? What is the opportunity here? You know, please feel free to share. What do you think?
The first thing I want to advise is that keep a lookout. I believe that in your neighborhood, whether it's a HDB flat or condominium or even landed property, I believe, or even the kopitiam and things like that around you, they are elderly folks. They are elderly folks. So my advice is keep an eye on them. Say hello to them. Even though your neighbor, if you notice that it's it's an elderly folk, you stay alone, please be extra, concerned, care. Say hello to them whenever time you pass by and see them. Because there are many cases in Singapore that they are elderly folks, they stay alone. And something happened, they fall down, and that's it. Nobody knows. So I think some of you may come across and aware of this. So my piece of advice is that we have to keep a lookout, to the people around us, especially the elderly folks. They could be a single person. You see, so keep a lookout. If you can, say hello to them, be friend with them, take their number, say things like that. Occasionally, if you think of them, call them. If they respond to your phone, good, they are still alive. There are occasions that they didn't respond to your phone. Be more aware. So that's my take. That's my first concern. My second concern is that, as I said just now, I think during the conversation, death is something that is definitely happened. No one can avoid. So my advice is that please do some preparation. Prepare the death. Sometimes I understand, being a children, the younger generation, it's very difficult to talk to our folks, our parents about death. Or they will push you away. You want to split my property or something like that. But if you find challenging and difficulty, maybe you can call us as a funeral directors, as a consultant, because we will know how to come in and assist you. Ask relevant question, create some sort of curiosity, to bring them in.
Yes.
To talk about this subject.
That's right.
Then from there we can pick it up. I'm open. I'm always encouraged to actually talk about it. At least you have some idea.
Yes.
A lot of time when I met the family members, they say, "Oh, I ever heard my daddy say da 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 da." Ever heard? So if you could expand the ever heard to talk them about it, and then have some preparation, wouldn't you think it would be better?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So my advice is that have a dialogue with whoever, talk about it. Even as young as 50 plus, it also can, because again, as I said, death has no time. Not necessarily must wait until old age. Sometimes accident can happen.
Yeah.
So if you were to prepare in some degree, it will be still good, right? So that's my advice to the audience tonight. Remember to say hi to the elderly folks around your neighborhood.
Okay.
To keep an eye on them.
Yes.
All right. And the second thing is that talk to the whoever. Do some preparation about that. Talk about death. 講條詩嘅例子 Talk about that. Thank you.